You know, we talk a lot about men who are good, men who are bad. And I feel like those words are kind of subjective, but something that's not subjective is when a man simply cares. When a man even thinks you're worth the effort. When a man has what you can even work with, because sometimes it's hard to even say, okay, should I just cut him off? I just need to leave. Sometimes that's difficult because you don't know if you're dealing with something right now that can be worked out. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes you're in a place of discomfort or your needs not being met, but you don't want to jump ship at the first sign of trouble, right? Let me say this to every woman watching. You should jump ship at the first sign that there are holes in the bottom of that ship and that ship is going to sink no matter what you do. You should jump in. That's when you need to go. You don't need to wait for the whole ship to sink. You already done seen the preview. You don't need to wait to see the movie. Like, there's a difference between a man who is flawed, who getting his act together, but you know what I'm saying? He got some strengths, he got some weaknesses. He got some things that he do right and some things that he could do a little bit better. There's a difference between that man and the man that has all of that, but at the same time, he's coming to full agreement with playing in your face and acting like, honestly, you don't matter. And I'm going to put you on to something. If a man acts like you don't matter, sis, it's not an act. It is not an act. He's not going to say it a lot of times anyway. He's not going to say it straight up with his words. I don't care about you. Why? Because typically that's not self-serving. Typically that's not going to get him what he wants. Even a man that doesn't care anything about you can still find usefulness in you. Some of your benefits, some of your perks, some of the things that you might do. The fact that you're willing to be a doormat for him. But if you ever in a situation or in a relationship and you start having the question like, does he even care? Like, this ain't even a matter of emotional intelligence and, you know, having the right framework and model of a healthy relationship. This man don't even seemingly care about me. I want to take away all uncertainty and all doubt. If you in that kind of situation and you're trying to figure out, should I listen? Should I hear him out? Should I put forth more energy towards conflict resolution? Should I seek out a third party to help me understand this man? Or do I just need to go ahead and go? Because a lot of times not understanding what to do there is what causes y'all to waste your time. So I said actions speak louder than words. Absolutely. And guess what? Patterns tell the truth. Patterns tell the truth. If that man ain't putting forth effort, you ain't got nothing to work with. I'm going to tell you the first sign that that man does not care about you. He does not like you. He does not care about you. If he blatantly disrespects you, and when you bring it to his attention, even his body language says he's not rattled. He ain't shaken up. He ain't stoic, confident, almost cocky. As you tell him and explain to him and break it down to him and contextualize and give him this thesis statement and give him this point by point detailed synopsis of all of how this impacts you and what it means. And that man just sits there and looks at you with a blank face. Or maybe even worse. He looks away like he's annoyed, like, man, can she just stop talking? That man don't care about you, sis. That man don't care about you. I know this is not going to be the sexiest message I got, but I promise you it's going to save you time. It's going to save you wasted years. It's going to save you a lot of regret on down the road. I was talking about this with my Self-Crown VIP members. Sometimes we got to thank God for what did not happen. And sometimes you get to create what else does not happen. We look at a person breaking our heart, hurting us, etc., as being so bad. It's like, hold on, wait. Do you know what was on the other side of that happening? If you didn't wake up and realize with this heartbreak that you had to go. But guess what? You don't get to stop all of those things from happening if you keep on allowing this pattern. Because a lot of y'all rely on your emotional intelligence to carry the relationship. A lot of y'all rely on your empathy to supplement for his inconsideration. You ever been in a situation or a relationship with a man, looking back in hindsight now, and you realize that so many times you had more empathy than both of y'all. Like you had more empathy than what was needed for both of y'all. Like you supplemented for the empathy he was supposed to have. You cared about him and how his life was going to go downhill, how things were going to be so messed up in his life. You cared more for that man than what he seemingly cared to keep you in his life so he didn't suffer that fate. You were putting in all the energy to communicate and talk and just let's come together. And then, you're trying to discuss attachment theories and the principles of disrespect. Anytime you get to a point where you got to break down and explain the principle of a situation, the principle now, there's a difference between the principle and the application. Like there's a principle that's like the foundation of like understanding, like something he was supposed to be raised with. There's the application that might be like a nuance here, this circumstance there. That's a conversation anybody can have. I'm not telling y'all don't communicate and don't work things out with your man. That's trying. Trying doesn't mean just saying I try. Like trying means there's actual, tangible, measurable progress from conversation to conversation, event to event. But a man blatantly disrespects you. Y'all go out to dinner, and these are real situations, by the way. I like the stuff y'all be sending me after y'all watch my master classes. I read every single message. Y'all know I do Q&As or, whatever. I got a way that you can submit a question to me. Not my assistant, I personally read every single one of them. Some of these situations, there's one woman that hit me up after watching my last one on how to break the soul tie, that masterclass. Some of y'all have watched it. Thank y'all who watched it. She said she was out to dinner with her man, and her man now, not just dating prospect, her man asked the waitress, "Where are you from? Your unique is accent." I mean, I'm sorry, your accent is unique. Your accent is so different. That's not the baddest part now, because by itself you might be like, okay, he's just a little chatty. No problem, no problem. Wow, I like your hair color. The same waitress now. I like your hair color. I ain't never seen it. He ain't complimented her in the first, but he would do these types of things, and no, that's not where it stops. He talking about, I like your laugh. Anybody ever told you like your laugh is really pleasant? This is literally what she told me he would say, and this is all in one night to the same waitress. The waitress is especially, conventionally anyway, attractive. So he's saying these things in front of his woman. Ain't brought his woman into the conversation. Ain't referenced her. Nothing. Your accent, where are you from? Your hair, your laugh. So some of y'all might think, oh, that's just insecure. No, there's a way to be respectful. If you and your woman are on a date, why are you inquiring and opening up off-subject conversation with somebody who is there to do their job, especially an attractive woman? Because when a man cares about you, it's not like he's going to avoid just straight up crossing lines. What he's going to avoid is any blurred line in anything that could give the appearance that he's open to somebody else. When a man cares about you, it don't have to be blatantly cheating or blatantly abusive or blatantly like something. It don't have to be that. It's blatantly disrespectful that he was willing to even get up close to that line and see how far he could push it. And he would do this, and this is by his own admission. This is by his own admission. He would do this because he wanted her to see that she shouldn't get too comfortable. When she brought it to his attention, this bothered her. Like you can have little, casual conversation, but especially when it's an attractive woman, and especially when you haven't given me no compliments on my hair and I dressed up to come out with you. You haven't opened up this much conversation with me, but then this woman, your eyes light up. She's like, it makes me feel away. She told him that. Well, I need you to know, like, you don't need to get too comfortable. Honestly, I feel like you be getting too comfortable. With confidence, straight face, stoicism. I said, sis, that man don't even care. I can work with anybody. When I'm coaching, when I'm mentoring, I can work with anybody that's saying, okay, I'm ready to put forth the effort. I'm the sweat equity. Your starting point is your starting point, okay? You didn't see this. You fell behind. You got, stuck in some patterns early on. But if that person don't even care, there's nothing you can do with them. Another sign that man does not care is whenever you guys are, matter of fact, let's just say this. Not to say you guys, you bring up a challenge. You bring up a challenge. There's been you got to replace your tire. It's wobbling right now, right? Maybe there's a nail in it. You got to do that. But you also got the daycare expenses coming up. You got this expense coming up. You were sick last month, so you kind of behind on work and your money ain't where it need to be right now. A man who does not even inquire about how he can help A man who does not put forth any effort, he doesn't assert himself into the situation somehow, some way to say, I want to do something. I may not be able to carry all your expenses. Maybe y'all ain't that deep yet. Maybe he ain't got the money. But he's not even willing to brainstorm with you. He's not willing to see who he can borrow some money from. He's not thinking nothing. He ain't thinking how he can come over here and maybe change the tire, patch it up a little bit. He's not doing nothing. When he hears that you are faced with a challenge in life, that man sits by on the sideline while you out there on the field struggling. That man does not care about you. That man does not care about you. Let me tell you something. I've heard of stories, and y'all have probably heard of them too, where a little boy maybe saw his mom getting, trigger warning, beat up or, hurt or yelled at by her significant other. And the little boy jump in, the little boy shoots the dude. We hear about those stories. I know I've heard about them multiple times. There's actually a really famous situation recently where a rapper's son shot his stepdaddy. The rapper and his child's mother were not together anymore. And that mom, her new partner, were in a domestic dispute, and the son shot his stepdaddy. That's because, I'm talking about a little boy. He's probably like 6, 7 years old. I don't quote me on that. A little boy, powerless, if you will. It's innate in us. It's primal in us to protect, to help, to do something if we care about you. I'm not over here advocating for no perfect knight in white shining armor. None of that. What I'm saying is, I want to make y'all clear on something. When a man can watch you struggle or be in distress or be overwhelmed or just be challenged, this is difficult for me. You say, make sure y'all can still hear me. If not, I'll come back. Don't worry about it. Oh, the Nash said, okay, somebody know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Matter of fact, I just said Lil Durk's son. Yup. Nash. Yup. Like I said, don't quote me on the age. Little boys, and now it's messing up. little boys. You ain't even got to be in no kind of position. A little boy couldn't win a fight if he wanted to. Probably didn't even know how to handle a gun real good. But his first instinct said, I'm about to do something. If a man cares about you, don't measure him strictly by the money that he dropped. No, don't go that route. Because you'll have some men, and they braid it up. They got a couple $100,000 in the account, just liquid. And they'll sit back and watch you struggle if they don't care about you. If they don't care nothing about you, they'll sit back and watch you struggle. And let's not even think money. Let's say you trying to get the groceries in the house. You pumping gas. You come in after work and your feet hurt, you sore, and you plop down on the couch, you throw your keys on the couch, you're clearly communicating that you are tired. You challenged just with getting in the house. And man ain't saying, how can I help? I'm not saying this man should constantly be waiting, with bated breath, day and night, with no life of his own, no stresses of his own. What I'm saying is, no man is going to sit back and watch you struggle consistently as a pattern without trying to do something. And the trying is going to manifest in tangible action that you can measure. Y'all need to stop dealing with people who don't care about you. Y'all be asking for advice. Y'all be asking for direction. Y'all be trying to communicate better. Y'all be trying to earn a PhD in healthy relationships for somebody who just don't care. And I want better for you, sis. And there are better for you. There are men out here, like I said, I hate that we have this perception of a good man as being the one that has all the answers all the time, all the money. That's not it. That's not it. It's the man that cares. You can go further with a man that doesn't have all of those advantages in life right now. He's not up 100,000. He ain't got the best job. He don't look the best. You can go further with that man that has exceptional care for you and likes you than you can with a man who's 6'6" tall and he got a 6-pack abs and he got hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in every year. But he don't care nothing about you. I want y'all to include in your type, when y'all talk about a type, a man who do not play about you. A man who cares about you. He don't, like, a man that's not going to... Here come messing up again. That's okay. We're going to keep rocking. He wanted a break because of an argument over Build-A-Bear. When a man looks for any kind of conflict, any type of annoyance, or anything to take a break, that man don't care. When a man truly cares, if he even feels like you're slipping away from him, like you're pulling away from him, pushing away from him, I ain't saying he gonna beg, but he's absolutely going to say, "Oh, wait. Let's take a pause. What's going on? I don't feel the same connection with you. I feel like, are you not sure about me? What's going on? You sick or something like that? What's going on?" If a man feels like your energy ain't right, he gonna want to fix. He's gonna want to repair. But if a man don't care, guess what? He gonna want to take a little vacation from monogamy. He's gonna want to take a break from that relationship. It's a bad call. That's the enemy not wanting y'all to get this good game. Another sign that man does not care. Another sign that man does not care is whenever he apologizes for something he did wrong and then immediately does the exact same thing. I say immediately, I'm talking about within the next 2-3 months. You see, I try to acknowledge that we're all humans. We all fall short of the glory of God. But there's a difference between long suffering and indefinite suffering. There's a difference between unconditional love and unconditional tolerance. So if a man apologizes for something and he fixes his act up, he tries, whatever, say the tries, this is some kind of progress, right? But a year goes by, 2 years goes by, and he does the same thing again, okay, cool. He may have lost track, lost focus, one of those old wired, like, I'm not talking about deal breakers. I'm just talking about just general things. Maybe he raised his voice. Maybe he left the toilet seat up. Don't matter. Outside of deal breakers. But when a man apologizes for something you express to him as a problem for you, and then he does the exact same thing, I promise you that man does not care. Why do I say that? Because whenever you are saying something to a man that bothers you, if he cares about you, if he's in tune with you, it's like an alarm is going off that he's tripping. Man, you off base, man. You wilding right now. You in the red zone. And not because he's gonna lose you. You see, a man that truly cares about you, his only objective is not just to keep you in his life. It's to keep you and sustain you at the highest level you could possibly be in his life. There's a difference. You see, there are some men who will do whatever it takes to just keep you, and there's some men who will do whatever it takes to maximize you, to give you the most optimal experience with him. First by being the best version of himself, and then staying in tune with what you need so he can meet those needs. When a man truly cares about you, if a man don't care about you, he'll give you lip service. He'll say, "Oh, my bad. You know what? I'm sorry. Okay, it's all on me." And then he'll show you with his actions that he really don't give a dang, because he'll do the exact same thing. No circumstances different. Ain't no time passed by. Another sign, I'm going to end it here before I get some more calls, that man truly does not care about you is whenever there is a conflict that causes distance between you two, and you notice that there's a pattern of you always having to be the one to come and fix things. I'm not saying that it's never on you to initiate that conflict resolution. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he's going to need the exact amount of time that you need in order to settle his thoughts, see things clearly, be sober-minded, and then approach things. Because if you're the one that's ready in 10 minutes and he needs 2 or 3 hours just to settle down from that conflict, that's different. Okay? Use discernment. But when you notice that a man will go right on living just happily ever after you've expressed that something is troubling you, hurt you, that he's done, or some kind of blow up that wasn't resolved, there was no accountability or apology, and he don't care to bring it up unless you do, that man don't care. Long as you continue doing whatever he wanted you to do, he good. Long as you continue to be sexual with him, cook, clean, whatever it is that was benefiting him and making life comfortable, he good. You can be hurt. You can be losing sleep every night. And as long as you keep him comfortable. You see, when a man don't care about you, in his eyes, you become a human doing, not a human being. And honestly, this goes both ways. Anybody, your friends, okay? Let's not even make it about a man. I'm just saying in the context of a relationship. But honestly, this goes, people care more about your hand than your heart when they don't care about you. They just care about what you do for them. So if you're sitting there trying to decide whether or not you should continue working on this relationship or whether or not you should continue being patient and grateful, if you're sitting there trying to decide, I'm going to tell you something. The decision is over if that man don't care about you. There's nothing more you could do. Y'all be looking at all of the ways that he shows up on paper. He got money. He's handsome. He's blah, blah, blah. Okay, he's all of that on paper. What is he in your experience? All of that on paper, he's a good man. I don't care if he's a good man. Is he good to you? I don't care if objectively he makes up the qualities of what should be a good person. Is he good to you? And don't strictly measure that by every day is happy, every day is. I'm not saying that. But a man who is good to you is never going to leave you with doubt about where you stand in his life. His actions, his patterns are all going to be in alignment that you are a high priority. You are something he's heavily invested in. You are something that because he's so connected to you, if you're not functioning at your best, he can't really function at his best. He can function, but not at his best. That's a man who cares about you is connected to you. You ain't even got to get passive aggressive and take away some of these benefits to get his attention. Or you start playing that game, you with a man who honestly only cares about those things that you're taking away. The moment that your happiness, your safety is taken away, the man who cares about you, that's what's going to push him into action. And see, whenever you deal with somebody who don't care about you long enough, you stop caring about you. Because that's how you end the fight. That's how you end the effort. That's how you end the lack of peace that you have with that man. You eventually stop caring about yourself so y'all can be on the same level. And now it doesn't trouble you. It doesn't stir up your spirit to speak up so much, to fight so much, to argue, maybe, to even challenge yourself with how to lead that relationship. It doesn't do that if you stop caring about you too. Because now y'all in agreement. And even in taking on that man's lack of care about you, you now have come into agreement with a soul tie. There's a spirit of neglect. There's a spirit of abandonment that you will carry with you if you stay with a man who emotionally abandoned you, emotionally neglected you in a relationship, because he's a good man on paper. Even after you're done with him, you know what, the relationship burned out, you know that you deserve better, whatever, somehow it just sabotaged you, just couldn't do it no more. But if you stay with him long enough, you're going to now have that spirit of abandonment with self until you break that soul tie with that man. That's what, see, the soul tie, think of a soul tie as like a bridge. And the bridge is still there if you've never done the work, if you've never taken those steps to break the soul tie. I think there's 7 steps. I laid them all out in the Masterclass, by the way, how to break the soul tie. If you don't burn that bridge, those spirits that allowed you to even attract that man, entertain that man, those spirits that came by way of you suffering at the hands of that man, they're going to continue staying in your life from that man. That bridge was never burned. They just coming in, popping up in the form of triggers, in the form of reluctance to let somebody else in the form of fear that somebody else is going to do the exact same thing. Over and over and over and over again. And so you have to break those soul ties to break that pattern of attracting the exact same caliber of man. I don't know if I would have said caliber, mediocrity of a little boy in a grown man body. And I went in depth. I broke that down because I never leave y'all with a problem and no solution. And I'm not selling it. If you want it for free, I put the link down here in the comment, or you can go to DerekStreetMasterclass.com. And you can get that masterclass. The masterclass is an in-depth training, free. I charge thousands of dollars for my training. But I try to give y'all, honestly, I think I give away the most free game on the internet, period, when it comes to healthy relationships, because I believe in healthy relationships that much. I believe in the family coming back together. I believe in the end of gender wars that much. But we're always going to be in this gender war so long as each side feels like they have to protect themselves from the next person. And the only way you're going to keep feeling like that is if you keep running into people you have to protect yourself from. If you don't even know how to discern this man from that man, and so you keep running into this man that's out to hurt you, and therefore losing out and missing out on that man who wants to protect you with you, you're going to stay in that vigilance and therefore have a gender war against such and such, instead of having like a power couple, a teammate type of disposition about yourself that attracts a man that comes to win with you, not that needs to dominate you. I know I'm going to lose some of y'all. This gets a little deep, but for those of y'all who are ready to go deeper, for those of y'all who want something different, so you're ready to do something different, I made it easy and I made it free for you. I put the link down here in the comments. It's also in the caption. Break the Soul Tie Masterclass. It's a free step-by-step training on how to break the soul tie. Moral of the story is this. You can't do nothing with a man that don't care about you. That's like trying to coach somebody who don't want to get off the bench. They don't even want to suit up and put on their uniform. They don't want to show up to practice. How you going to coach somebody to play in a game that they don't even feel like it's worth practicing for? Basically, how you going to teach somebody to do the big thing of loving you correctly, and they don't even want to do the little thing of respecting you? They don't want to do the little thing of considering you, listening to you. They don't want to do the little things that allow for the love that they give you to even be healthy enough to receive. If you agree with that or anything else I've said in this conversation, hit the share button, the little arrow somewhere, hit the share button so we can spread more of this truth. Both men and women need this. But those are just my thoughts. I'm your internet big brother, looking out for you per usual. If something I said again was of value, hit the share button so you can pay it forward. If you want access to the masterclass before it comes down, because I am going to take it down soon, the link is down here in the comments. I pinned it right here in the comments. So click that link, or it should be a little link icon down at the bottom. That'll also give you the link to Break the Soul Tie Masterclass. That's more than an hour of me going in of how to break the soul tie so you can finally get your peace back, get that emotional and mental reset after all your learned lessons, so you can now attract the man that God has for you.